Hey guys, so it is the following day, and what I've got here is the engine and the hoist. I went out and rented this. This thing's huge. I don't even know how many tons, or it's in kilograms here on the side of it. Probably too dark for you to see, but yeah, this thing is huge. It's overkill for this little motor, but it's fine with me. So I went ahead and put the flywheel on, torqued that to 76 foot-pounds. Had somebody hold it with a pry bar, and about to throw on the pressure plate and clutch assembly. Use my clutch alignment tool. Maybe I'll show you guys that, and then I'm ready to bolt the transmission up to this thing, and then I'll remount the chain so that I can grab it from the trans mount that is right here, and then we should be ready to jack this thing up and slam it down inside the car. So I'm pretty stoked. But yeah, I'll try to keep you guys updated on what's going on here. So I went ahead and just, knocked a lot of this out. You probably saw that video of me putting the trans on. It took a while to get everything mounted up, and now we did a couple of finishing touches on the block, but it's all up on the stand now, and it's looking good. It's looking like it's ready to go in. So didn't do too much. I put the T-bracket on the back right here, and I also put my feed line for the turbo on, and I did the half shaft back here. Just a little miscellaneous stuff that's easier to get to while the motor's right here. So I'm already there. I got my motor mount bolts all set, corresponding to each place that I got to put them. Here, and back one there. Motor mount bushings are in. So I think that I'm ready to throw this motor in. So I'll throw it up on the time lapse and you guys can watch. But yeah, I'm excited. It's looking really good too. It's gonna look great in the engine bay. Can't wait to see it back in there. So I'm almost positive that time lapse got cut short before I got the motor in, but I did manage to get it in. My dad helped me out a little bit there, and yeah, I just started plugging away on it, just putting things back together. But it's looking really good in here. It looks super clean. I mean, we didn't scratch the paint too bad getting it in, so I'm pumped about that. All in all, though, it's looking really sweet, and I'm excited. So I'm just gonna get to doing, all the stuff that needs putting on, EGR, bracket for the shift linkage, all the coolant hoses, and then I'm gonna get started on the wiring on this thing. That's definitely gonna be the trickiest part. Is sorting out the mess of a harness that I made. So I'm gonna untangle all that and see exactly how I want to route these wires so we can get a clean engine bay look going on in here. And yeah, that's going to take me a little while, maybe a day or two, but hopefully within this upcoming week I can get this thing fired up. I'm really excited to hear it run again, but it's definitely looking great. So this may just look like a mess of wires still, but I don't know if I might have shown the harness before in a previous video, but it was all over the place. But now I sort of have everything labeled and marked as to where I think it goes, and sort of loomed together where I think it should go. I'm definitely going to do further taping, and I'm going to use some engine loom when I go ahead and finalize all this stuff. But as of right now, this is what I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this in the car, I think, and just start plugging stuff in and just seeing exactly where the best area is to route all this stuff, and then I'll try to maybe tape it up so it looks nice, and then whether I have to loom it while it's still in the car or take it back out of the car to set it up with loom and make it all neat and tidy, and then I'll figure out exactly where I'm going to have the plugs, whether they're inside the inside the actual car itself, or whether they're outside and I just tuck them out of the way. But I did get a good amount of work done on the car itself. I've been working on just everything. It's tough because there's just everything left to do. So I've been doing just whatever needs doing, whatever I think of at the moment. So alternators in, coolant pipes here, all the hoses for the coolant, and I got new hose clamps on all that. Distributor went on, coil went on, main ignition coil. Down here, it's looking pretty good. What I do like about the painted engine bay is it's much easier to see down in these kind of areas like that. Like normally it would be impossible to see there, but there's bad lighting and you can still kind of see. So it's going to brighten things up here, should make it easier for you guys to see into the engine bay. I'm hoping to be getting a GoPro soon, so a newer GoPro will give me some better footage hopefully. But yeah, so this thing's really coming together. It looks really sweet. I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can try to get all the wiring done today. And I might be a little ambitious, but maybe we can fire it up this weekend, hopefully, this Saturday. So I got tomorrow to work on it as well. So yeah, maybe a fire up pretty soon. That'd be pretty sweet. I gotta figure out a lot of the turbo stuff still, but at least firing it up would be. So upon doing a little more research, I realized that this guy right here should be about 80 thousandths. This oil restrictor plate for my turbo, because the turbo can't get full line pressure. You can see that little hole in there. That should be 80 thousandths. I think this is 40 thousandths, so that would make this for a ball bearing turbo. And I have closer to a journal bearing turbo. It says wet float bearing, but I think it's a journal bearing. So I found a drill bit that's actually about 80 thousandths. It's like 76 thousandths. So I'm going to go ahead and take this on my drill press and drill this out, make it a little bit bigger. If it's too big and we end up blowing a little bit of oil through the seals, you can always buy a new one and drill it down, but it's not good to starve the turbo. So I'm going to go drill this out and then bolt this onto the turbo with all my supplied gaskets and everything, along with the drain. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to get this thing bolted up for the most part. It's going to have some leaks in the manifold because I don't have all the mounting hardware, but I'm going to try to get everything all bolted up and just see if I can get this thing started. I don't need to make any boosts right now or anything like that, but I just want to get it started, make sure it runs good, and then I can start filling it with coolant and stuff like that and just finish the job up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. On the car itself, I've been doing quite a bit of work. Alternators on, I threw all of the coolant hoses on, except the lower radiator hose. I'm remaking the battery positive right now that goes to the fuse block, because I had to get rid of the other one because it wasn't long enough. And this is the one that goes from the alternator that goes to the fuse block, which is now relocated to the inside of the car down through that hole. So I'm running a new wire here from this new terminal that I threw on the battery. And yeah, we should be good to start it pretty soon if I can get the rest of this wire touched up and figure out where this goes, because I still don't know where this goes. It's got to have a home, but I haven't really been able to figure that out. So eventually I will, and yeah, I'm going to put some oil in it. I might have to go to Walmart tonight and grab some oil, and then I will fill this thing up and put the training fluid in it that I have, and we should be okay to start this thing for a few seconds. So hopefully I can get to that tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. This thing's really coming along. So stay tuned, and hopefully the next clip will be it running. So right now I actually have the distributors all unplugged, and I just have the oil feed line sitting in a water bottle, and I'm going to go ahead and crank it over just so that we can get some oil flowing, and we don't want the first start to be dry. So I'm going to give it a little crank here and get some oil flowing. We should have, I cranked it earlier to get it flowing, and now we know it's actually flowing pretty good. So I think we are ready to throw that thing on our turbo, and we're ready to see if we can fire this thing up. So I hooked up the distributor, and I'm going to go ahead and try to start this thing. I'm not really going to run it for any longer than probably 15-20 seconds, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and see if this thing starts. Hold up.
That was sick.
Alright, so based on that last clip, I think everything is pretty solid. It seems like the car runs decently well. It had a little bit of a tough time starting, but I was able to give it a little bit of gas and get it to start and run. The tune might have changed because there's different back pressure with the exhaust. There's no intake piping on it, and there may be a stray sensor unplugged or something like that. But at least I know the motor's healthy. It runs, all the injectors are firing. It seems like it's in pretty good time. I don't have any misses, and the oil is getting to the turbo, and it's turbo spooling up, and you could probably see the flames there. That's just a little bit of fuel burning off. But yeah, I'm really stoked. This is like it's been over a month and a half now, and the car finally runs again, so I'm super excited. I can't wait. Tomorrow I got some work to do on my truck. I got some taillights and some crap out, but probably tomorrow I'll get some more work done on it. Really got to finalize the harness and make it look good. I'll give you guys a little once over on what everything looks like right now in the engine bay before I end this video, but definitely got to clean it up. It needs work. So let me go ahead and give you guys a little look on the inside here. So I've got just a mess of wires down here, but I was able to, on this side I have to have the connectors on the outside. I'm going to really clean this up. Hopefully it'll be a decent before and after once I'm actually done with this. But I had to remake this power wire, like I said, ran that in. I'm going to try to loom everything, install my siren for the alarm system. Injector wiring I'm going to try to run underneath. I got to hook up all the coolant pipes. Let's see, what else? I have to hook up the wire for the alternator so I can have it charging. Yeah, but over here I was actually able to stuff all the connectors inside. So there's not really any connectors over here. So once I clean up the few wires that are here, it should be pretty clean. All in all, super happy. Everything's turning out really good. Can't wait to get this thing back on the road. I'm thinking probably less than a week away from actually driving this thing, hopefully, because now I'm confident about everything. I just got to fill up the trans the rest of the way, put coolant in it, drop it back down on the ground. I mean, I can throw the fenders back on now that I know all the wiring is good. So yeah, really on the home stretch here. Stay tuned to see this thing on the streets, and hopefully we can get this thing tuned and ripping. I'm pumped. But thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.